So what's going on with some Hall of Fame news?
Yeah, so Hall of Fame stuff. That time of year, WWE reached out to the Undertaker about doing a match, but they've also reached out to him about headlining the Hall of Fame. So they would like him to headline the Hall of Fame and wrestle his last match, and they feel the best thing to do would be for him to go back in there with AJ.
Again, another last match, but in front of a crowd, though. That's what they got a hard on. It's got to be in front of a crowd.
Well, yeah, the Boneyard match wasn't what they were what they were supposed to do.
It's a pretty good way to go out, though, because it was pretty damn good. It was the only thing great for that Mania, obviously.
Right. So
Funhouse.
Yeah. So I mean, there are other opponents that he could go in there with, but I think this one would be the most, shall we say, the easiest way to convince him to do it. I think.
Is AJ a bad guy still, or is he a good guy?
Good guy.
And he would have to go against Undertaker.
Yeah.
That doesn't do it for me. It really doesn't.
I imagine you can talk trash and say they got unfinished business, and I think if he's retiring and that's it, Hall of Fame, everything, AJ could probably shake his hand or something and then just go back to being a good guy. I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
This is me speculating. So
it is weird, though, because Undertaker's, that much taller. It's always weird to see that, this is going to be a actual fight.
Who would you do? Who would you do? McIntyre? Someone like
that. That's the problem, though, is if you are going to have Taker win on the way out, it does McIntyre no favors by losing to him. And I get that Undertaker's a traditionalist and who probably will ask to lose.
Hey, what about Omos just squashes?
I thought the same thing. I said it popped in my head like Khali putting his foot on his chest.
Well, who's this guy? Omos is Undertaker's guy. This is why we're getting this. So
that's crazy to me. In a perfect world, what I would want is he gets his win back from Brock Lesnar, but now is not the time.
Did you see the thing where Taker was like, I talked to Omos. Omos has got my number. They talk all the time, and I've told him if they're ever if you're ever doing something which you're not funny about, call me and I'll talk to them. He's basically saying that he's going to make sure that Omos doesn't have to sell. So he's not selling or being knocked off his feet or anything.
Jeez.
For me, this has got WrestleMania main event winner champion written all over it. But I mean,
God. Oh, that's cringe, dude. That's bad. I don't know if it's the non-charisma or what, because he's a foreign guy at the same time.
What do you think of the 93 Rumble and that Yoko push? Because that came so to us it means nothing now. But do you remember that he debuted at the 92 Survivor Series and beat Virgil and then just won the Rumble? So he was barely around at all.
Yeah, I mean,
you remember as a kid how new Yoko was.
I get that it's a spectacle and almost is a spectacle, but it's very, very different. And I think Yoko could actually, I hate to say it, could actually work. He was agile for that big of a guy. He would bounce right up and do stuff.
But, my point is that you had no contradiction to Yoko, but Omos has been around for nearly 2 years. Remember, he was Raw Underground first.
Sure, bodyguard.
He was AJ's bodyguard, and then he debuted a year ago and won the tag titles. I think if you get to debut and win the tag titles in your first match because they're protecting you from the beginning, they're going to be doing something with you. I mean, yeah, and coming up to this point, it's nearly 2 years that he's been with the company. So,
they did the same with Khali, where obviously Khali can't work and do stuff, and gave him the title and just have him putting his foot on people's chest and winning that way. And to me, it's like Yoko was different because Yoko, as big as he was and barely left his feet, he was still selling and getting beaten up and getting back and getting his, shine back and all that kind of stuff. We have not seen almost do anything. And the same with Gonzalez. It was, oh, you swing your arms almost about to fall. And the same with the Khali and stuff like that. Khali had a body at least. So that was always the impressive. Look how enormous he is. Plus, he's ripped. But with almost, I'm like, we see the acting if he gets hit, you know, and it really, maybe I'm missing about. I'd like to hear people's comments if they are like, oh, almost as great, almost as a star, because I just don't see it. I mean, you can make somebody win all the time. They made Khali win all the time. I don't think it made him a star. I think it made him something to see, like sideshow type of stuff. Like, look, here's the tall guy, but there was, I mean, especially talking. It's not like he could talk,
right? Because the guy didn't speak any English, and the other guys couldn't do a match with him. Like Omos could be coached by at least the guy he's in the ring with. Like, do this now, do this then. Like, you know.
Yeah, Khali went to the same wrestling school I did, which is interesting, and that's where he accidentally killed the guy. You know that whole thing.
Yeah, well,
yeah. Like, the guy had an aneurysm. It wasn't really Khali's fault. The guy, you know, got choke slammed and his head exploded afterwards. But